Hi everyone, welcome back to Outer Worlds Comics. This is Jeff. Glad that you can join me on my third episode. I'm going to do a couple of things here. I'm kind of combining the last two weekends. I've had a really fun, hit a couple of events in a town called Longmont, Colorado, which is just north of me in Boulder County, Colorado. And basically is what 2 weekends ago they had the Super Duper, I guess last weekend, the Super Duper indoor garage sale. And then this weekend was called RetroMania. It's a vintage toy show and kind of a Comic-Con. Really, really fun stuff. Of course, you know, as you saw in the intro of my video, we had two snowstorms actually hit the morning of both of these events. So I was the Super Duper yard sale thing. You could kind of get an early bird, which I tend to do those. So I had to get up pretty early and get up there, and then yesterday morning I drove up for the retro show, and it was snowing really good yesterday, so the roads were pretty dicey both mornings. So hence my little intro video, braving the weather to go hit these events. But they were both really fun. The Super Duper garage sale, I took my wife with me, so because it was a mixture, it was a lot of different stuff, but they certainly had comics. I had gone to this last year specifically looking for records. So this is kind of my first year with my eyes open on comics. And I think I found some pretty good stuff. I got there, like I said, I got there early and pretty quickly found a guy who had like 4 or 5 long boxes of comics. He was selling them at $2 a piece. And, you know, if you're like me, $2 a piece for me is a pretty nice deal. I don't find a lot of that in Colorado when I'm going out to indoor flea markets and stuff. And if I do, it's like, you know, it's just nothing, but it's like trash comics or whatever. But yeah, so this one actually had some pretty decent stuff and, you know, stuff I would pay $2 for. So next thing you know, I had this insane stack, and he's like, "You're going to need a long box for this, aren't you?" I was like, "Yeah." And so, you know, I ended up filling a box basically. And then I ended up meeting this other gentleman that had, there was actually 2 sellers there that were really great. So I'll kind of highlight some of the books I got from those guys. And then this weekend was the retro comic shop, the vintage toy show and Comic-Con. And that was pretty awesome. I mean, that was like a little mini Comic-Con, really. It was tons of comics and toys. And I think I found some pretty good deals. I was pretty happy with what I came back with. And yeah, so let's spend some time going through this. This might actually be another kind of a longer video. I've got a lot of comics to show off, but really interested in getting your guys' feedback and what you think on my pickups, how I did on the pricing. I'll share all that kind of as we go along. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. It was fun anytime I can go out and pick for comics. And I wish I would have done some video. I know I see these other YouTube videos where they're kind of filming as they're going through. I need to get like one of those chest camera deals, but I don't have one of those. So I want to pick. I can't sit there and do it with the camera. It's too aggravating for me. I really just want to kind of dig into the comics. So I'll continue to upgrade my YouTube channel work here and hopefully bring that to the equation. But for now, just have to trust me. It was filled with lots of stuff. There was people in cosplay this yesterday. I had a blast. And so yeah, let me show you what I got. Yeah, so first off is what I'm going to do is highlight this box that I got. Like I said, I filled up a box. It was, you know, there was a lot of independent comics in this, but then there was Marvel, DC, interesting like little keys, but some like number ones of, you know, just indie titles that nothing big, but some very cool horror comics that, you know, I collect more Bronze Age horror and some Silver Age horror, but I will pick up horror comics and more modern stuff if it's interesting and it's a title that's appealing to me. I will pick that stuff up. But for the most part, I'm kind of speed tracking this as we're going through this box, just to give you a highlight of kind of what I got. You know, there was some good uncanny X-Men stuff that I needed to kind of fill my run. So I was really happy to pick that stuff up. And yeah, I mean, it was just a box filled with little books enough to keep me interested. And again, it's like one of these deals where you're just making a pile of $2 books and thinking, all right, I'm gonna make a deal with this guy, and next thing you know, you end up with a ridiculous stack of books. I didn't necessarily pull anything huge out of this. I think he had kind of gone through it ahead of time, possibly, and pulled out any significant books. But the walkaway price that I got out of this entire long box ended up being $250, which in hindsight, the $250 I could have spent on some bigger books and been very happy to have those in the collection. It's almost one of these deals where you kind of get in the frenzy state of, oh my God, I'm interested in this and this and this and this and this. Next thing you know, you have $250 worth of books. His actual, the total of it ended up being, I think, like 360 or something like that. It was 175 books. So I did talk him down. I did negotiate him down to that number. In the grand scheme of things, I wish maybe I hadn't grabbed all of these, but at the same time, as far as my collecting habits go, it was kind of fun to pick all these books out. And at the back end there, I did pick up a nice run of Spawn. I think there was maybe number 2 through like 24, with maybe a few missing, but almost the complete run from 2 to 24. So I think I can grab a number 1 and flip that, and maybe get a little money back to where it's not a total I don't feel too bad about it, but I think I did okay. I got some good books, and I'll show off some of the better books from that box that I think I pulled out of there. But yeah, that's the one big box that I filled up, that you maybe saw in the intro, that I was pretending that I was carrying through the snow. So, okay, so first up we have New Mutants 100. I just needed to fill this for my run. It's not a crazy book. It's the first appearance of X-Force, which is cool. But this is the third printing, silver lettering on the back. I'm happy to have that in the collection. And then we have Origin of Galactus. This is number 1. I collect all things Galactus, so was happy to add this to the collection as well. It's in great condition, cool cover. And then we have Marvel Holiday Special number 1. I learned about this book from Mike at Lunch Money Comics. It's the origin of Santa Claus in the Marvel comic books, and that's where we learn that he's an Omega level mutant. Just a cool book. I think Art Adams cover, if I'm correct here. So it's like a wraparound cover. Pretty cool. And then we have Lobo number 1. This is volume 2. Happy to add any kind of Lobo number 1s. I know this one's not really worth much, but I like Lobo, and he's coming out in the movie. Jason Momoa is going to play him, so kind of going to scoop any Lobo I see it for the time being. And then we have another one. We had 2 of these. We had 2 of the other volume 2, I think, but I know we had 3 of these, actually, of these Lobo Paramilitary Christmas specials. And I mean, that's just a killer cover, number 1. It's the first appearance of his pet bulldog, which is named Dog. So, James Gunn loves dogs. We just saw Crypto in the trailer for Superman. So maybe Dog will make an appearance in the movies and become a thing. Who knows? But now I have a few copies. This is a neat book to have, in my opinion. And then probably I think the best book that I got out of that long box that I filled is this Street Fighter number 1. I mean, it's in high grade condition. I don't see anything wrong with it, really. So this is a cool book to have in my collection. Maybe even get this one graded. I don't know. But yeah, it's cool. And, like I said, that giant collection, it did have, several $5, $10 books. Had a X-Force number 2, second appearance of Deadpool. I have a bunch of those. But, I got some fun stuff out of it. And I'm not complaining. It was fun. And now I've got a bunch of interesting books in the collection as I continue to grow it. This next guy is this kind of older hippie guy that set up, and he was actually at this last weekend as well at the Vintage Toy Show and Comic-Con that I mentioned. So he's got a lot of interesting books. Everything really fair prices on there. And he had a box of Underground books that also I'll show off here in a second. But I do collect Twisted Tales, And happy to pick up number 1. Didn't have this one yet. Excuse me. And I mean, it's just a cool cover. All of these Twisted Tales are really neat, in my opinion. So I was happy to grab that. And then we have Dope Comics number 2. And that is just a cool cover. It's dope. So yeah, this is an underground comic, San Francisco comic book company. I need to do more research into like the history of that comic book publisher, but I definitely see them as kind of a main player in the underground comic scene. So need to do some work on learning more about them. I'm just kind of scooping books as I see them at this point and trying to learn as I kind of have a stack. So happy to, I mean, that's just fun for me to get into something like this, and then I got to catch up on the research. But showing off what I picked up. Mr. Natural number 2. This is a 3rd printing, I believe, or no, 2nd printing. Excuse me. And this is R. Crumb art, and Robert Crumb is someone that I definitely know about and want to start to try to pick up more of his art and more of his comics. So yeah, I was really happy to have this Mr. Natural number 2. Again, San Francisco comic book company with that one. This is out of Last Gasp Comics, Brain Fantasy number 1. Just a super amazing cover. This hits all the things that I like. It's psychedelic artwork. You got some mushrooms on here and some aliens, and this guy's kind of melting over here. So just a super, super cool cover, and happy to have that in the underground collection now. This one's awesome. Fantagor number 1. This is the 2nd or 3rd. This is a 3rd printing, I believe. First printings go for some really good money. This one definitely has some condition issues. It's got some kind of moisture issues happening. So hopefully a clean and press will help this one out a little bit. Yeah, just really happy to have it. It's like a horror adventure stories by Richard Corbin. He does the artwork, he writes it. Learning about Richard Corbin, he's someone I definitely want to start collecting. And yeah, really, I think this is my first Richard Corbin. I can't remember if I picked one up in that claim sale recently. Moving fast, so hard to keep up with all the stuff I'm getting. But happy to have that. And then this guy had a really nice run of American Splendors. I was thrilled to grab these. Harvey Picar. You know, I learned about him from the movie American Splendor that Paul Giamatti played. And so just was fascinated by him, a kind of a recluse, grumpy record collector guy. And that can describe me at times. So I was really thrilled to have some American Splendor. And I didn't just get number 9, I got number 8. And then I got number 7. And then I got number 3 as well. So yeah, I was happy there to grab all and these were all priced really well, and he gave me a big discount when he totaled everything up. So I think I got most of these American Splendors under $10, which I'm all good with that. And yeah, so happy there. Next group of books here is from a guy that I know that I bought records off of at the same event last year, the Super Duper Garage Sale. And he and his son, I know, they sell a lot of music memorabilia and records and just a lot of music stuff. But they do have some toys, and then they had some comics. I didn't pay attention to the comics last time, but this time I did. And yeah, he had some cool stuff, and everything was really priced, you know, competitive. I mean, I loved the pricing from all these people at this event. So, I mean, these ones I feel like I kind of got for a steal. So I got Haunt of Horror here, number 1 by Curtis. It's got the werewolf on the cover. I love werewolves, and which will be a theme, I would imagine, that keeps popping up as I make these videos. But I'm all in on werewolves, and this is just in really nice condition. All these are high-grade magazines, so really excited about that. Cool skull and all that. Then we got Monster World number 1. Monster World took over when Famous Monsters was a magazine that they had out. I've got a few of those. This was kind of a pickup off of that, and they kind of adapted the Universal Monsters into black and white comics. So again, we got the classic werewolf on the cover. This is again in really great condition, especially with that black cover. So yeah, I was happy to have that. And then we got a Monster Madness number 3. There was only 3 issues in this run here. So it's a Marvel monster deal, and yeah, another great deal on this book, and was thrilled to have it added to the collection. And then the last, this isn't the last one, but almost the last one that I picked up from these gentlemen was Man, Myth, and Magic, the most unusual magazine ever published. So this is part 1. And yeah, I mean, it's not really worth anything, but very cool. And I just enjoy researching kind of what these are all about. So I was thrilled to have this, and it's got some interesting stories inside, and yeah, really cool cover. And then the last piece I picked up from him was this High Times. It's got the Freak Brothers, which is a comic, an underground comic. It very well could be made by the San Francisco comic book company. That's my guess. I got to figure that out. But either way, I don't collect High Times, but maybe I'll start collecting vintage High Times from the 70s if they have cool covers like this. I like this one a lot, and I got a great deal on it, so happy to have that. And then last on that, this was the last book that I picked up last Saturday at this event. There was a guy that had a bunch of cool toys, but he had one box of Golden Age books, a lot of Tarzan and stuff like that. But he did have one Superman in here, and it's still attached. It's definitely got its condition issues, no doubt about it. But it's a 10-cent Superman. I'll grab a 10-cent Superman all day because I got it he wanted $10. I suggested $5 because at the same time I picked this up from him. So I got that Galactus with Silver Surfer. He wanted 20. I offered him 15 for that and 5 for the Superman, and he took the deal. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I got a nice deal on that one. I got a few 10-cent Supermans in the collection now, so kind of fun to look at those. So let's move next into what I picked up from the Vintage Toy Show and Comic-Con this just yesterday, and show off what I picked up there. All right, so yesterday went back to this Vintage Toy Show and Comic-Con. It was outstanding, as I mentioned earlier. And my process was as I kind of walked in and just started checking out everybody's booth before I started making decisions, because it was pretty overwhelming. I'm still getting new to this Comic-Con and these giant things where you have a ton of, I mean, this wasn't giant by any means, but certainly overwhelmed. So I made a pass through, took like an hour to do that, and then kind of went back and grabbed what was most interesting to me. One of the first guys that I came across was this. He does these digital prints. His name is Art of Ingo. Art of Ingo, INGO. So you can go to artofingo.com. He had some cool stuff, and I try to support these guys that show up to these things. I'll maybe pick out one at an event. I've done this with record shows where maybe there's an artist that's done something unique in the record collecting hobby, where he's done some artwork or something with records. So I try to support people who are working, trying to make it work with their art, I guess. So he had some cool stuff. He had this. He had different sizes. So I got a couple of these. I think it was two. Each one of these was $5. So. Yeah, I collect Hulk. I love Hulk Wolverine. I mean, it's classic. I liked it. I figure I can just put it in a little frame, add to the vibe in the man cave here. And then I grabbed this one as well, which, we have World War Hulk, World Breaker Hulk. I mean, I love World War Hulk. So, yeah, I grabbed that. I thought these were cool. I paid $10. I had $10 cash. That was all the cash I had in my pocket. So it was burning a hole in there. And so I thought that's a great way to support Art of Ingo. Moved on to another guy, and I'm trying to complete the Immortal Hulk run. So I'm making some progress. I think I need maybe 6 or 7 books at this point to complete it. I think it's 1 through 50. So yeah, I grabbed Immortal Hulk number 3. I mean, all of these covers, in my opinion, are amazing. I'll have to do a whole video that, I don't know if anybody will watch it, but probably do a whole video about Immortal Hulk because I think it's incredible. All the art is so good. And then we had Immortal Hulk number 4. So yeah, grabbed. Some of those low numbers in the run can be I just haven't picked them up for whatever reason. So I've been looking. I actually just haven't been able to find them at my comic book store that I go to. So grab these. And I don't buy a lot of comics off eBay. Really, I don't know that I have bought any comics off eBay, a couple. So I try to just get out in the wild and find them. So I picked up Mortal Hulk #4. Nice to add those. I went back to the old hippie guide I just mentioned there when I was picking up those underground books, because I had seen these that 2 weekends ago, or like last weekend, I should say, and just didn't want to pull the trigger, didn't want to spend the money. But this time I did go back and go ahead and grab these. I haven't rebagged and boarded some of these because I've run out of bag and boards. But I am working on the John Byrne Superman run. I just kind of got started, so I have a lot of work to do, but I'm filling it in. So I got #2, and then I got #6, and then I've got #14. So I was happy to grab those to help complete that run. And then I've recently started getting into Swamp Thing and trying to work on that run, the Alan Moore stuff. So he had a bunch of those. So I got Swamp Thing #55. And then I got Swamp Thing #50, what is that, 58. And I got Swamp Thing #59. I just love these Swamp Thing covers. And I got #60. That cover is incredible. I think I had a couple of these copies already, but I upgraded them. All of these are in really great condition as well. So, I mean, he was selling them, I think, $2 to $3 a piece. And then he gave me a great deal. Once he totaled everything up, he took even more money off. So, I mean, I got all of these for a steal. I mean, I got maybe $1 a piece when it came down to it on these books. So, yeah, I was happy to grab that. And then we got another. This is 63. Beautiful cover. I love orange covers, orangish red. This one is so cool. 64. Again, all these covers on this in this title are great. I do collect Silver Surfer, probably mentioned it in prior videos. I'm working on this volume 2 run. Getting really close. I mean, I've got maybe a total of like 20 issues to pick up to complete the run. I don't chase it like hardcore. It's just when I'm out shopping or always kind of looking. So I think this finished off at least my #1 through 15 of this, maybe 1 through 20. I just needed this one, so I was happy to find that. I saw this on a YouTube channel recently. I don't know who picked it up. I can't remember, but I remember thinking, oh, that's such a cool cover. And then sure enough, I found it. So I picked it up. It's a newsstand, and it's a beautiful, beautiful cover. Supergirl movie coming out. I do have some Supergirls. I'll pick up cool Supergirl covers when I see them. And I love this one, Mesmerized. And then he had some Uncanny X-Men. I'm working on that run as well. And so just filling some holes. Got 190, and then I got 188. So pick those up. Again, really good prices on those. And then I went back into his underground box, and I picked up a Slow Death #6. I'm going to work on this one as well. I already have, I think, 1 or 2 issues. I think I have #2. But yeah, Slow Death is really cool. This is Last Gasp as well. And then, you know what? He must have, I didn't see him, or he brought him to this event and he didn't bring him the last time I was there. So he had American Splendor #6. Happy to pick those up. And American Splendor #4. So yeah, now I've got, geez, I almost have 1 through 10. I just got to get #1 and 2, and I think that's it. I can't remember all the numbers I just mentioned, but maybe #8. So yeah, working that. All of a sudden, I have a bunch of American Splendors, all for really good prices. Now, this is the one I'm really interested in getting your guys' feedback, this run of books here. I was walking through, and there was a guy that had a bunch of toys, and he had some really cool stuff. They actually had a little box of records that actually made me look through the records, which I haven't been doing a lot lately. But and then he had just kind of stacked on a table. He had some like a small stack of comics, and he had one propped up. It was Amazing Spider-Man, and that was it. They were very nondescript, versus all the other comics that were there to sell comics. This guy just had this like little stack sitting there to the side. So I started looking through them, and I thought and looking at the prices, and I thought, wow, this is interesting. So I picked up I bought almost the entire stack of books he had, really. And I'm intrigued to see what you guys think after I told you what I paid, because I think I got a pretty good deal. We'll see. But we'll start with this. We got a Booster Gold number 25. This one's nothing special, but I like the cover and Booster Gold. I'm sure James Gunn will do something cool with him. This, all of a sudden, I could end up, well, now I collect Booster Gold. That's how I go. I am not one of these people that just, I kind of collect everything. And I'm going to try to keep it in check. I have to, but Booster Gold, I like the cover. So I picked that up. I got this Transformers number 9, I believe this is. And it's autographed by Jorge Cortega or something. I don't know the artist. I do know that I think he's local. I think he shows up at shows. I followed him on Instagram, but it's autographed, and I threw it in the stack, so why not? I got a Rocketeer number 2, so that's pretty cool. A Rocketeer Adventure Magazine number 2. So Dave Stevens right there, pretty cool. And then he had a lot of Amazing Spider-Man and a lot of McFarlane Amazing Spider-Man. So I've got a big run because I didn't have any. I have a lot of Spider-Man, but I didn't have a lot of this stuff. So I got Amazing Spider-Man 303 and Amazing Spider-Man 306. I got 311, Awesome Mysterio cover. I got 312, Newsstand, Green Goblin versus Hobgoblin. I got 313, an Awesome McFarlane Lizard. I love that cover. I remember that cover when I was a kid. So I remember these books when I was, if you watch my first video and get the history of my comic book journey that I'm on, I do remember these from when I was a kid, and I remember loving the covers. So this is really cool. And then we have 314. And then we have 315, Newsstand. I think this is like the first cover appearance of Venom, the little head over there. So that's pretty cool. Second appearance of Venom, maybe, overall. I know I should know the keys. I did the research, but now my memory's going to fail me. But I know it's a good book. 317, that's an awesome cover. Love that. And then we picked up 318 and 319. And then we got a great, I love this one, 328. I've got a couple copies of that. And that's just an awesome, I don't know if I'm in the minority, but I actually like the way that McFarlane drew the Hulk. It's so different. I like different takes on the Hulk. I like the way they mix it up, and love this cover. It's so cool. So really happy to get another copy of that one. And then this last stack here is I've put these ones in a little bit better bags and boards. Showcase kind of what I think were the best books out of this collection I got out of this guy that had the little stack there. We have an She-Hulk number 1 Newsstand. It's not in the highest of grades. I mean, it's got this crease up there. It's got a little something kind of right there. Little issues here and there, but it's not horrible. I don't have it, and I collect She-Hulk. I've been actually waiting to buy my first Sensational She-Hulk number 1, and just been looking for the right occasion to go ahead and pull the trigger. It's not a huge book by any means, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on a number 1. And so this is my first one in the collection. Again, not the greatest condition, but I think I paid under $10 for it, like $8 or $10. So I was happy to grab that. We got this Wolverine 17, which, interestingly enough, I almost have the complete run of this Wolverine. I didn't have number 1. I didn't have 17 until recently. I picked it up off of Pocket Full of Comics. It's in a box I still haven't even opened yet. But I didn't have this. And then I had the entire, I didn't have number 1. I didn't have number 7, I think, which you'll see in a second, I believe. And I didn't have number 8. Or no, I'm going to back up here. We'll kind of get it to it when I pull up the number. But I didn't have number 17 until recently. And now here it is. I got 2 copies. And, this isn't in bad shape at all. It's got a little bit of like one of those like little indentations along the spine that I imagine you can kind of press out. But nice book. I got it for under $10. And then this Amazing Spider-Man 316, a newsstand. I did not have this. So I was really thrilled to get it. It's got some issues. I mean, it doesn't have any major spine ticks. I think there's one little one right there. You probably can't see it with the glare. But it's got a little ding up here. It's not perfect by any means. And it's got some crump, like it's got that wavy where it's been, I don't know if it's moisture or what happened with it. So I'm going to take this to my my pressing guy. I'm picking up some stuff from him this week. So I'm going to drop this off and have him clean it and press it and see how it turns out. And I mean, I got this for a steal, guys. I think it was $15. So I was thrilled to have that. Yeah, here's that Wolverine. I needed number 10. So I needed number 17, 10. I needed number 1 and number 8. Now I've picked up a number 8 recently that I also still need to open from a box, which is kind of scary. But yeah, so I needed number 10, and it's in pretty nice shape. I mean, it's not flawless, but it's still high grade. I'd say 9.0 at least. So if not better, but yeah, I got that for, I think it was $5. So I was happy to get that. And then here we go. I got my first Wolverine number 1 newsstand. It's, looks pretty good. It's got, let's see, what do we got here? Maybe a little something there, a little tick there, maybe one there. So it's got some spine ticks. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5-ish. It's got a little corner issue there. So not a perfect book by any means, but I got this for under $10. Yeah, I think that was a great deal. Maybe you guys are all thinking differently. I don't know. I just saw all of these books for $10 or under. The only one that wasn't was that Spider-Man I just showed off, was a little bit more, but I was thrilled to finally have it. I mean, I've been needing this. So, and then he had this X-Men 251, which I have several copies of this. Of course, it's all of a sudden been showing up as a hot book after the Deadpool movie. So I think I got it for $5. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's not a bad book by any means. And then last but not least, I've been needing this book forever. I just actually bought a nice high-grade issue, as I mentioned. So I just need to pull that out of, I'll do an unboxing with that one in there at some point here soon. But all of a sudden I ended up with another one, and I got it for $10. And, it has maybe 4 spine ticks. I mean, clean and a press. It's got a little smudgy thing right here. It's not a perfect book, but it's not horrible. Clean and a press might do some work for this one. So yeah, that was that stack from that guy. All those books I just showed, I paid $150. So let me know what you think. Did I get a good deal on that? I think I did. I mean, these are books I've been chasing for a while that I just haven't pulled the trigger on because they're selling for 30 or 40 or 50. And as I've mentioned in prior books, I'm a budget shopper. I'm lunch money comics type, where I'm just bootstrapping everything. But yeah, I got all those, 150. I think I did pretty good there. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below on that. All right, guys, there you go. Let me know what you think, how I did over the last 2 weekends here at the 2 really fun events I went to, the Super Duper Garage Sale and then the Vintage Toy Show and Comic-Con. Let me know what you think, how I did. I'm really interested to see what you guys think on how I did on this stack of books that I picked up for $150. I think I did pretty good. Added some books that I needed to complete some collection or add to the collections that I'm working on. So really happy about those. So really interested to see what you guys think. I really appreciate you watching. Hit a like and subscribe for me. And I appreciate everybody kind of following along as I go through these two. This is my third video. So I'm learning, and hopefully you're liking what I'm doing. Give me some feedback. I appreciate any feedback I've gotten so far. It's a learning lesson, so bear with me. I just start kind of rambling here, and I know that I make some miscues and whatnot. And I already don't know a whole lot. I mean, I know enough, but I'm learning. So I appreciate people reaching out to me and offering support and things like that. I do want to mention one thing, and I'll link my second video at the end of this video. I didn't mention one of the books I got out of that collection. I think I edited it out. I redid that video like 5 times. It's frustrating. I'm kind of trying to be a perfectionist, but it's not going to happen. But I did pick this up in that as well. So for those that watched that second video, making sure that I noted this came out of that collection as well. And being a Hulk fan, I'm just couldn't believe it, and I can't believe I own it. And it's in nice mid-grade condition. It's not bad, and I had it cleaned and pressed since, so very cool. But guys, thanks for watching, and hope you're all doing well out there. It's nice and cold here, and I've got a lot more content that I'm working on, so I'll try to do like maybe 2 videos a week. So yeah, thanks. Outer Worlds Comics, Jeff. You guys take care.